Radio Raheem with Joseph Parker. All smiles all around, and for good reason, man. What a performance last night. You know, first of all, just talk to me how the fight progressed in your mind, how you remember it.
Just went out and was just testing him out a bit and trying to get into a rhythm. And I was just working off the jab. And there's a few times where I did fade away from using the jab, but I was reminded in the corner from Andy Lee that the jab is key. And it sets everything up. So as soon as I saw the opportunity, took it.
Keane was really game. Like, you know, he came to fight, and early rounds looked like it was going to be a back and forth kind of contest. At what point did you feel the fight shifting your way?
You know, Andy Lee was just saying to me, take your time and look for the shots and see what shots are open. You know, when you're showing him one thing and he keeps blocking, you can see, you know, the opportunity. And so I think it was just in the beginning, we're both just testing each other out. But when I saw the opportunity, like Andy said, I took it.
The first shot that knocked him down, which set him right on his butt, right? Yeah. Talk to me about the setup and landing that one.
Yeah, listen, the uppercut presented itself. So I did land the uppercut, right uppercut. And then he said, come again. Yeah. So just I had to set it up and throw it with a bit more intention and got the knockdown, which was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, at that stage, did you know, okay, I'm going to be able to finish this guy in this round?
Listen, when you at that stage, like, you know when it's time to jump on him and finish him off. And if he was able to get up after the knockdown, I would have jumped on him, you know. But Simon Keane had a great record, Olympian, and he's got the fundamentals. And he's got experience, but it was just maybe my experience a lot better than his.
You can't ask for much more than all knockouts on an undercard, mostly heavyweights. Yeah. I was saying for the whole week, who's going to be like the one to steal the show? This one really is a contender for that because the knockout was spectacular. And, you know, what really sold it was, you know, Keane saying, come on. And then, you know, a few minutes or a few seconds later, boom, it's done. How did you feel about the experience on whole?
Oh, the experience of fighting here in Saudi on a massive card has been amazing, you know, and the setup and what they've done here. Like, I don't know, the whole show, you know, us fighting outside and moving everyone to the inside, and then the dances and songs before the ring coming up out of the ground. Right. I think the whole experience has been probably the best experience, you know, and they've done it big here in Saudi Arabia.
I don't know that I've seen any production this level except like Super Bowl or, you know, Kanye's
Kanye
tour. And he was there. I was like, oh man, I know, is Kanye or Eminem coming out? If they had pulled that off, I think this would be unmatched maybe forever. But I'll tell you something else that was a shocker. We didn't get Kanye, we didn't get Eminem, but boy, did we ever get a potentially new heavyweight contender in Francis Ngannou. That performance, what did you make of it?
Ngannou put on a better performance that everyone expected. Everyone expected Tyson to go out there and knock him out. But I think with Ngannou's experience of being champion in the UFC, and he's been boxing for a long, long time, I know it was his first fight, but he put up a great performance, and he has to be credited for it, him and his team.
I mean, beyond great. I don't know that he's been boxing a long time.
I remember in Las Vegas when I was training with Kevin Barry, I'd always see him in the gym sparring with fighters, boxers. Yeah. This is back in 2000.
But Joseph, I know that's not the same. And so,
and I didn't think he was going to put on a performance like that.
So was it his performance that was the difference, or was Tyson lacking last night?
A bit of both, I think. Tyson looked great in sparring and had a great 12-week camp and did the food right, the training right, everything right, but just didn't look, I don't know. But I'm not saying that's an excuse. He just didn't look the sharp Tyson that he was in camp. But Francis probably didn't allow him to look sharp, you know, so we're just not quite sure.
I've never known Tyson Fury to be at a loss for words. We had no post-fight press conference. Apparently, thus far tonight, he's not talking. Have you had a chance to speak with him?
I haven't spoken to him yet, but listen, every champion, you know, it's not always going to be the best performance all the time. So, listen, he didn't have the best performance, but I'm very happy they got the win, and I thought he did enough to get the win. But it was a close fight.
He was cut last night, right?
I didn't quite see him but there was a bit of blood coming from one side of the face. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, do you think that this delays undisputed bout?
I don't think so. I hope not.
You think still in December we'll be
Listen,
here?
I think there's a big chance it can still happen in December. I think it should.
So you would advise Tyson go right back at it, December, Usyk, let's go.
I think so, yeah.
What do you think Usyk could take from last night's performance?
Listen, Usyk can take a lot from last night's performance. I mean, with Tyson going southpaw and orthodox and Francis doing the same thing, Usyk was right there to see how it all unfolded. And I'm sure, there was a few reactions that, when Tyson went down, Usyk's like,
Yeah.
I think everyone was surprised, but good on Francis, and again, credit to him and his team. Like they put on a great performance.
You know Tyson Fury as well as anybody, and for all the bravado and brashness, he's still a human. And so after a performance like this, it definitely is not the kind of show he wanted to put on. Where do you think he is mentally right now?
I think he just got to take a bit of time off and be with those that he loves, his family, his wife and kids. He hasn't seen them for a long, long time. And I think that's his brothers, his dad, and that's the team that's gonna keep him happy and grounded. And I know he's a human being and everyone's gonna have an opinion and he's this and he's that, but I think everyone's just gotta remember that, humans. We're all humans at the end of the day.
Well, somebody who seemed superhuman, at least last night, obviously, was Francis Ngannou. The world is at his feet now. He can do whatever he wants. What would you like to see next from him?
Fight me.
There we go.
Listen, Francis can mix it up in the box. If you win, the rounds of the champion of the world, he can have some big fights, and if the opportunity presents itself, will be awesome.
All right, so if that opportunity presented itself, what would you do differently than what Tyson did last night?
I'll just be me.
How does that beat Ngannou?
You'll soon find out if we can make it happen.
Come on. Give me a little
I
something.
back myself against anyone.
Yeah.
And I know I've had 3 losses, but if I can fight those guys again, I can right those wrongs.
Well, I tell you what, I don't know that any of those guys would bring the kind of bag that Ngannou would bring.
Ngannou's a tough man, and you can see even in the clinches, he was very strong. And it just shows the background that he brought with him. Like, if it was someone just off the street, it would be different. But Ngannou has experience, and he's a champion, and he backed himself. He had a great camp, people in his camp with a lot of experience, and listen, he was strong, he was a beast.
Listen, it's easy for us, especially me, to be outside the ring and say, oh, you could have done this, you should have done that. But watching the fight, you must have been thinking, oh, if Tyson do this, or maybe there's a flaw here in Ngannou. Give us one. What do you think?
Listen, like you said, from the outside, we can try this, do that. But just Tyson in training looked a lot different to Tyson when he was fighting. He just didn't to me, it seemed like he couldn't get out of second gear. But I don't want to say that as an excuse or anything. Just to me personally, seeing what he was doing in the gym and then seeing him in the ring.
He talked about doing a 12-week camp for this, unlike any other fight. Is it possible he overtrained for this fight?
Listen, maybe he did. But listen, this just, Ngannou put on a great performance. Yeah. And no excuses. Tyson got the win, and he just has to go back and see, just make a few adjustments.
All right. Well, Ngannou's still in town, so there's time to make that fight. Hit up the Sheikh. And
Ngannou's a good friend of mine, and all respect to him as the athlete that he is, the champion that he is, and the performance he put on, and looking forward to seeing what he does in the
what must he be feeling right now?
Oh, on top of the world.
Right.
He went 10 rounds with the champion of the world, close decision, but he should, be very proud of his performance. Yeah,
I guess if he fumbled the bag, he recovered it in the end zone. Radio Raheem with Joseph Parker. All right, that's good.